Please welcome to the show from the incredible podcast Spawn on Me. Please welcome Kahlief Adams. There he is.
Hi. Good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Kahlief, come take a seat on the couch. Adam, you can stop clapping. There you go. We all like Kahlief, but let's not overdo it.
Is this a good seating? Should we?
You can.
Yeah.
I mean, if Kahlief wants to sit on the end there, yeah, just kind of walk into the arm of the couch. That's how you're going to do it. You just walk. There you go. Rihanna, if you want to sit on the yellow couch next to Kahlief, I mean that spot is open. And if Amy, you want to scooch up, it's a little bit easier for the camera to see all of you.
Okay.
But that's your choice.
I mean, the seat is here. We are rocking. I'm super excited.
I just don't want Kahlief to feel like he's got cooties or something because people won't sit next to him.
I'll
I don't want to give him a there you go.
There you go.
Distancing is
I'll
real
move
right
here.
Hey, Kahlief,
All right, we're at.
we're getting
What?
reports that you're really quiet.
Oh, I can boost him a little bit.
If you can boost me there, I can boost myself too on my side too if you need it.
I'll give you a little boosty up to 120%. How's that?
Let me know if that's better.
We got you.
If-
We got you.
If not, I can raise it up a little bit too.
$5,500 currently raised towards a $10,000 goal. We are benefiting Color of Change, which is an amazing organization fighting for social equality and racial justice. We couldn't be more proud to be helping out. I'm going to boost Kahlief just a little bit more. I'm going to boost him all the way up to.
Let me know if that's a little bit
I'm
better
boosting you
too,
all the way
'cause
up to
I dropped-
150.
yeah.
How's that now? How's
that
that
better?
now? Do we have him? Do we have good
150?
levels from Kahlief?
Can I be heard?
There we
Hello,
go.
hello.
We're saying better. Andrea Renee in the chat. I think Andrea's ears were burning. I think she heard that I was trying to start some shit, and she showed up just in case Rihanna said anything nasty about it. But I knew she was never really going to do it. And who would? Who would ever say anything nasty? Andrea's lovely. They all are. Everyone at What's Good Games. Just the nicest people.
Love that crew.
I love them. And we love you, Kahlief. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. I never thought that this would be the place that we would see each other after having seen each other at a couple of events.
Right? Right?
But this is fantastic. I'm so proud of you, man. This is dope. It's so cool.
And listen, you were going to come on the show no matter what. You were actually one of the first people that I spoke to about coming on the show, and we've got guests booked up for a long time, and it's going to be probably a couple more weeks before we get the show back on the road in a formal context. But we are doing this special episode. And I'm really, really glad to have you joining us. Tom G 1013 asks a question. They're very, I should just get into the habit of asking every guest on the show this. Tom G 1013 asks. I'm going to just do a quick roundtable here. We'll start with you, Kahlief. What is the best Subway sandwich?
Ooh, the Italian BMT with bacon is the best.
That's a solid
Subway
call.
sandwich on the planet. The problem is you have to get the right toppings on that sandwich to make it golden, which means everything except for spinach. Everything except for spinach.
That does sound good. I haven't had my lunch yet. At some point, I'm going to have to take a break and get something to eat. But no, that does sound good. Andrea's in the chat saying, "I got my golden watering can." Wonderful!
Yes,
Congratulations to
5 stars.
Andrea.
Nice.
Congratulations to Andrea. Is that what you get when you achieve a 5-star island? Is that the benefit? Is that the prize?
Yeah, you get the gold watering can recipe, and a lily of the valley can start spawning on your island.
I'm stuck at 4
Ooh.
stars. I don't know what I need to do to get a 5-star
Put
island.
shit
but
everywhere. Just put shit everywhere.
Gary,
Seriously.
you have so much crap laying around your island. That's all.
I don't have crap lying around my island. What are you talking about?
No,
It's a
Isabel
nice-
likes that. She likes that.
it's
No,
a
it's
nice-
about the
it's a
thing.
nice-
She doesn't like it when you have
presents.
like things dropped on the floor. Like she
Yeah.
likes things when they're placed but not dropped.
Oh.
Like all
Yeah, I
those
just-
gifts that you have on the floor, she probably doesn't like that.
I need to get some more like fancy items littered around. Maybe that's why, because I do want that golden watering can. It's bumming me
you
out
need
now
to
that
pick up
Andrea's
those
got one and I don't have one. Andrea says you've got to have 15 days in a row of having a 5-star island. That sounds like a lot of work.
What? I'm a newbie. I need all the newbie tips. As you
Well,
can
here's
see with
the
my
other problem.
scrubby
If you
shirt.
buy a lot of turnips and you have to leave them out on your island, that counts as like litter on your island. Like that will actually count again. So that's why you got to get rid of your turnips quickly, because they can't be littering up your island all week long. You got to get rid of them fast.
Or you can put them in your house.
Yeah, but who has room in their house for like? I'm dealing in heavy volume here.
To make a little what's that called? It's not a topiary. Greenhouse?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, right?
I mean, I need like a silo. I need like an underground bunker or something for my turnips. I'm taking this very seriously because I frankly don't trust people. Ever since Mary Kish from Twitch came to my island and stole my money,
Oh my god.
I got a long memory,
Shout out to
Adam.
Mary Kish for
Long
making
memory.
the straight robbery.
Not only did Mary Kish steal my turnips, she wrote a message on my message board bragging about how she'd stole my money. I wasn't happy about it. I'm going to get my money back from Mary one way or another. Don't you worry about that. But I only have a couple of rules when people come to the island, and one is please don't touch my turnips. So I do appreciate when people when you're a guest in someone else's house, just be nice, obey the rules. It's not that big a deal. Not asking
That's usually
for much.
my rule for the club too. Just don't touch my turnips.
Kahlief, I want to talk to you about Spawn on Me, obviously, but first of all, I want to talk to you about your day job. You work at Intel.
Yeah, I do. I work over at Intel in their gaming division. That was all actually because of the work that we did at Spawn on Me. People found out some of the work that I was doing in the gaming space, and they were like, "Hey, you're pretty cool. Let's see if we can snag you to do some of that cool stuff." So, yeah, it's been really interesting. I'm almost 2 years into the job. It's been a lot of fun to kind of learn how all that stuff actually works now. So, yeah,
Now,
super cool.
it says on your bio that you're involved at Intel. You're involved with VR and with esports. What's the VR component? I didn't even know that Intel was even in the VR business. What's that part about?
We did a little bit of testing around VR being, VR is not a new technology. VR has been over, in the space for about 10, 15 years now. But we always are trying to figure out new technologies to leverage and play around with. And because gaming and VR are intertwined in the ways that they are, we always wanted to figure out like if there were cool ways that we could, uplift and showcase what VR means to people. So yeah, I was doing a little bit of that too. So I was learning, what frame rates mean in VR and, what are some of the layers that you need to get past so you don't get and feel sick when you play in VR spaces. So it was really cool to finally learn about some of the things that go behind VR technology as opposed to just being a user of it. So yeah, it's been cool.
And tell me about I know a little bit more about esports, but I'm still like esports is like a world that I feel like I'll never fully understand. But tell me about the esports component of what you do at Intel.
Yeah, well, it's been a little bit less of recent because I just moved teams. But what we were doing, we just enabled a lot of companies and organizations who were in the esports space. So, if you have, your biggest tournament, probably Intel systems are in there somewhere being played on, or we do IEM, which is a really fantastic tournament series that we do across the world. So I'm slowly but surely poking my hands into some of those things too, to see like if I can help and share the knowledge that I've gotten in the gaming industry with those folks. But it's a little bit of everything right now in terms of touching cool stuff and getting a chance to play around with cool tech.
We had a big uptick in viewers. I don't know if that's because Kahlief brought his milkshake brought all the boys to the yard or what, but my goodness, we like doubled what we had just a moment. Maybe it's Rihanna. I don't know. At what point that jumped, I don't know. But one of you people has a lot of fans because you brought a lot of fans to the show. Rihanna and or Amy, are you East? Here's the thing. I don't want to be rude, but I don't get it. I don't get esports. I don't. I've actually had people trying to like the agents of like big esports stars trying to get them on the show, and I'm like, I'm sure that would be great and it would bring in a lot of people that love that sort of thing, but like the people that get booked on the show is basically defined by my own interests, and esports I just can't get with it. I don't know what it is, but like I just can't engage with esports. It's not exciting to me. Maybe I'm just like an old fogey or whatever.
I mean, do you watch other sports?
Do I watch what? Other sports?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, yeah. I mean, not at the moment because there aren't any. But in general, yeah.
Face slapping, for God's sakes.
But that's a real sport, Adam.
Like
that's a
what
proper
I'm trying
sport.
to say. Like he doesn't understand esports, but he'll watch hours of competitive face slapping.
Wait, what? What is this?
I've seen those.
Oh, have you never seen competitive Russian competitive face slapping? Have you never seen stoned faces?
No.
Oh my god, I gotta pull up a clip.
What is this?
Hold on.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I'm gonna find you a clip. Don't we worry about that.
People give me crap for loving curling. How?
Oh, I love curling. I've always wanted to go curling, but
have you never been curling?
No, would you take me?
Oh heck yeah! Come up to Oregon. I will take you curling.
Have you been? Have you done it? Are you a curling?
Yes, I did it.
Tell me about it.
Oh, so a friend of mine, they know. So one of the conversations I've had with many friends has been about my love of curling and how they are just like, I don't understand what the hell is wrong with you. After I share that piece of information about myself, so I'm a huge fan of Olympic curling because I love the Olympics, and getting a chance to see people scream and throw things down a sheet of ice is one of the best things on the planet.
Right.
So a friend of mine found out that they were curling facilities out here in Oregon. I live in Portland now. I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. And we went one day and we learned how to curl, and it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do physically because it actually takes so many different parts of your body to do it well.
Now, were you actually throwing the stone, or were you one of the broom sweeping people?
Oh, I did both. I did both. I got to sweep and I got to throw rocks, and it was so fun. It's super cool. So like the thing that you don't notice is, well, at least at this place, it wasn't actually ice that you were sliding on. It's like this really slippy material, and then you put on a sock onto one of your feet, and that's how you slide across the ice. But then they also give you this thing that looks like a piece of PVC pipe shaped into like a big U. And you basically use that to guide yourself while you kind of like lay across the ice and throw your rock down the field.
So what is the purpose of that very vigorous? Are you trying to get the stone to go faster or to slow it down with the sweeping? Like how does that? Are you trying to control, basically help kind of guide the stone to where you want it to end up, right?
Yeah. So the way you sweep and when you sweep, it actually, you would think that it was to slow down the rock, but it's actually to speed up the rock. So it's you're kind of putting friction on the surface so that the rock moves a little bit faster. So you have to then try to figure out how to aim things. And you basically, when you spin a rock, that's how you get the directional turn to curl around, whether it be a rock or just trying to get it around to a certain spot. So you're actually like spinning it while you throw it.
So it's like English when you're playing billiards? Absolutely.
It's totally like English when you play billiards. It's absolutely that. So it's super cool. My wife is giving me crap in the chat too.
Hey, Jill.
I feel like
talking about your hamstrings. I was like, I don't have any.
I want to do it. Once we get back to something approaching, normality, I want to see if I can find like maybe a place somewhere in the Bay Area where I can go do it. But like, I really enjoy watching it. I find it very soothing to watch curling.
Oh, it's super good. Like the best parts about it is like the weird layers between absolute screaming and then absolute quiet. So it's like as soon as a rock goes down the field, all the sweepers are getting screamed at, and they're screaming at each other, and they're screaming across the field. And then as soon as they stop sweeping, it gets dead quiet, which is fantastic. It's like so many different emotions happen in one space. It's like so fun. I want more people to like curling, and I want Twitch to start doing curling on its channels too. Like I want that to be a thing that they show off.
I need like the curling video game. Like, where's curling VR? You should combine your interests, Kahlief, and get into working on like curling VR or something.
I'm hoping. I know that they already have shuffleboard in VR, so like curling is basically the same thing.
I'm excited, but yeah, but I don't get esports. I don't, I think I'm very like Principal Skinner here. Like, no, it's the children who are wrong. Like, I know that this is not. I know that I'm in the wrong here. It's just not for me. I can't relate to gaming at that higher a level. It's just like when I watch like Overwatch League, like I don't even understand what I'm watching. It's going so fast. Do you know what I mean? Like how do you make esports accessible to people that look at that and go, I have no idea what's going on right now?
Well, I think honestly the interesting part has been like with stuff like 2K League and other ones that kind of mimic actual sports in that way. I feel like those are easier to kind of get into. But I think honestly the easiest version of esports you can get into is the fighting game scene. Like it's literally two people fighting. Everything that's supposed to happen. One person's supposed to get beat up, and the other one's supposed to win. So it's like visually it's an easy way to kind of like translate that technology or translate that gameplay. So I think if you're ever really wanting to dig into esports in a real way, the fighting game community is perfect for that kind of stuff. And Evo's coming up really soon too, so now is going to be a great time to get a chance to check out that tournament.
I do like watching Evo. Like I find the excitement of Evo really infectious. Again, even though I don't really understand like why what I'm watching is impressive, like I get that like people are really into it, and you can't help but be a little bit kind of caught up in the excitement of other people.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? Is like you're all watching, multiple people be at the highest level of their sport and of their craft. while they are also playing things that you can play at home. So it's like that translating of the professionalism and the practice that goes along with it makes you really excited about, picking up the sticks and doing it yourself, which is super fun too.
I mean, not me, because I'm never going to, as you say, pick up the sticks. It's never going to, I'm not picking up any sticks anytime soon. If I picked up any sticks, I guarantee you that someone else would take them and shove them right up my butt. In a competitive gaming sense, not in a literal. I mean, maybe literally. I don't know. I don't know what goes on. I mean,
we played some Division. We played some Division before. You're not. You have skill.
Yeah, no, people. You
like you don't.
Part of the reason why I don't really play those games multiplayer anymore is I honestly feel embarrassed about other people having to carry me. Like I feel like I'm a burden on a like in a fire team. Like, I'm not the guy you want to be in a foxhole with. I'm just not. I'm just not.
I don't believe this. If there was someone who I would have in a foxhole with me, it would be you for sure.
I remember, Kahlief. You may remember this, that me and Fran were playing Destiny one time and we were getting our asses kicked, and you showed up like Superman at the end of Justice League, and like you were a game changer. You changed the game. Like when you showed up, you basically rescued us. I still remember that.
I mean, I have to bring out the skills from time to time. I get the glow, like in The Last Dragon. It comes on. I start to do things, and then hopefully people don't die around me. But there are many videos of me dying often in playing games. So that's definitely true.
We are raising money for colorofchange.org, which is a wonderful organization campaigning for social equality and racial justice. Something that obviously is clearly more needed than ever right now. Please type _donate into the chat and get us to that $10,000 goal so we could show you the first episode of Danny's Diary. As you can see, we just passed 6,000. We're about a third of the way into our show here, nice. And we're already more than a half of the way towards our goal. Hicks 206, $250. Anonymous 20, Anonymous 20, Mollymog 200. Samantha
Molly.
10, Zen Like a Cat $20, Anonymous 50, Mr. Chaz 50. Those are just our most recent donator. Noel Clark still leading the way with $1,000.99. And of course Amy in there as well with $1,000. Our guests have been really stepping up here, not just as wonderful guests, but as very, very generous donators to this very worthy cause. So please do keep donating. I really, really want to hit this goal, and I think we're going to do it. Kahlief, tell me about Spawn on Me.
Oh, Spawn on Me. So Spawn on Me is the podcast that I helped to co-create with my boy Cicero Holmes back in 2013, almost 2014. We saw that there was like a really big space that was lacking in the conversation space around video games, diversity, blackness, and how we could kind of figure out good ways to put ourselves in that position to talk about that prism in which the way we play games. And it's been pretty fantastic. Like we've figured out a really good way to spotlight people of color in the gaming industry. That's been the kind of the ethos of what we do. It's always been paramount for us to kind of share those stories in real ways, because no one else is really doing that work except for like maybe two other podcasts. Maybe Not Your Mama's Gamer, who's fantastic. Another outfit of folks, all black women, running that one. And then I Need Diverse Games, which was out there as well as an organization doing that work back in that time too. So I think we were kind of at the forefront of the conversations that you're having and seeing right now, being in the space. And it's been great to mix it up with just like normal general gaming conversation that also can speak to real things in the real world. And trying to bring nuance back to the internet in a good way. So it's been a very, very cool project to work on and grow and build. So I'm really proud of it.
We're dropping the links into the chat right now. If you want to go check out Spawn on Me, the link is actually super duper easy. It's literally just spawnon.me, and then we're also dropping links into the chat right now for the Apple version of the podcast, for the Twitter channel. This is Spawn on Me. It's really, really cool. Kahlief, you already touched on this before, but I just want to kind of, obviously because of the nature of the show that we're doing today, I just want to get into it a little bit more with you. This was a direct response to the fact that you didn't feel like there were enough black voices out there in the gaming space. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a huge podcast fan for a long time and a gaming podcast for a while. Some of the ones that I used to listen to specifically when I was getting into the game was Giant Bomb, of course, Weekend Confirmed, the One Up Show back in the day. But there are really few voices from people who look like me in the space that were like out in front. There was like Will O'Neill, and like Ngai Kroll were like two of the folks who I remember being very specifically out there, being black dudes out there in the space, and hardly any black women at all during that time period. So we said, we have things that we are thinking about when we're playing games, and they definitely coincide and come from our daily lives. Like, why not talk about that in a real way? And then, boost that signal out to the rest of the world and see if people like it, and people dug it. And it's been really good to see that people have, gotten on board with that conversation and kind of understood it. And we get a chance every week to showcase and share good ideas and good stories and good viewpoints from a black perspective, which is sorely needed in the media space, especially in games.
So Spawn on Me's obviously been a big driver in that effort. Do you feel generally like these issues, inclusion, diversity, representation for underrepresented voices, is it getting better?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the past couple of years, I think we have luckily been able to be at the kind of forefront of those conversations. Just seeing people who have kind of moved into other spaces that normally didn't have us in them was always fantastic. So like, I remember a really pivotal moment was seeing Austin Walker get picked up by Giant Bomb. And then, because I love him, his work is astounding and
big friend of Kind of Funny Games. Oh no, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with Austin Creed. Sorry,
yeah.
I had Austin in mind because I was talking about Austin about coming on the show today, and we weren't able to make the timing work in the end. No, but Austin is terrific. I discovered him through Klepic because I follow Klepic, and he did a lot of work with Austin, and they've been doing terrific work over there.
Yeah, I mean, Klepic is one of my favorite writers as well. So it's like seeing those folks be able to do it, and then all the other folks who we've seen kind of move in those spaces and build their own outlets and do all this other work since then, it tells me that the space is getting better. It also tells me that there's still a lot of work to do because, one of the conversations I've had with people over the past couple of years is, when we have Black History Month and we have it, especially in the gaming spaces, we only really talk about a couple of pioneers in that space. So like Jerry Lawson, who was the person who, made the first cartridge. There's a couple other folks in that space, but I'm still looking for where are the black women who pioneered in that space to bring those stories out to the forefront. Like, who were those folks in the early days of gaming that might have been there to have those conversations? And we haven't really found those folks yet. We haven't found those stories yet. So a part of the work that we want to do is kind of surface those things as well, while we continue to see the space get better and grow, not only from a content creator perspective, but from a media perspective for sure.
Now, Kahlief, sorry, I've got a very short attention span, so I keep changing subjects on people all the time.
Yeah.
You did ask earlier about Russian competitive face slapping, and
Yes.
I have found I don't know if you're monitoring the stream, but I have found a clip that I think will introduce you to this world. I'm going to introduce you to an athlete by the name of Vasily Kamatsky, also known as the Dumpling, and he is the god of Russian face slapping. I'm going to take you over to monitor 2 right now and introduce you just a couple of minutes of my personal favorite. All right, so that's just a little taste of what I'm into. Amy, is this interesting you? What do you think of Russian competitive face slapping?
My husband showed me this a while back, and we did watch a good 30 minutes of random.
Yeah, it's addictive.
I mean, it's bizarre, but because I'm also with you on the whole esports thing, I don't get it. Although I do want to go to a tournament one day just to make sure that I don't get it.
Just to confirm.
Yeah, because it's hard to say. You have to experience the whole thing, I think, to say that you actually don't get it. So
we got someone coming in.
Nice.
We got someone coming in. Let's go over to our partnership with Dodo Airlines. I think DJ Knight, who just dropped $100 into the donation, now at $6,375. My guess is that this is DJ who's coming in, who is another late addition to our guest roster. But it is. It's DJ Knight coming in from Core Base.
Nice.
He's going to be joining us in just a few moments. DJ is a fascinating guy, and I'm very excited to be talking to him very soon. But let's just give him a minute for his plane. Do you know DJ, Kahlief? Have your paths crossed before?
I love DJ. DJ is one of my favorite streamers.
Super interesting guy. I was talking to him last night, and it was just like there's no part of his life that isn't super interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's fantastic. He's one of the folks that when I think about how we wanted to kind of translate what we do into a streaming format, His stuff was always really good. He did a great podcast for a little bit called Chocolate Thunder, I think.
Oh, look at this with the spacesuit.
Ooh.
Oh, this is great. I love DJ. DJ's dope.
Do I have to
Love
type?
it.
Hold on. Let me just check something real quick. Yeah, the if you want to donate, it's actually in the title of the stream. !donate is the command that you would use to bring up the fundraiser, and it will take you right to the page where you can donate. We are currently at $6,375 raised, thanks to DJ, thanks to Unmagical Me, and
Nice.
Alice Anna Street, Matt Jr., K Jedi, Tim Heen, all recent donators. Thank you to all of you, getting us to 6,375. I'm going to show you a little bit of a little something here. Hold on a second. That's don't autoplay. I'm going to get you there. I'm going to show you a few seconds of the opening of Danny's Die. It's a little delicate because I really want to get to that $10,000 goal. So I'm going to tease you just a little bit with the exclusive video that we shot with Danny Trejo, the first episode of Danny's Diary. Like I said, we sent Adam over to Trejo's island, and Danny, who is basically just a big kid when it comes to Animal Crossing, I absolutely love it. It's so great. He is, like I said, doing this new show with us, and we were planning to show the first episode, and we still will show the first episode with episode 1 of season 2 that's coming up very soon. But what I really want to do is hit that $10,000 show goal and debut it here right now as a reward for having hit that goal. So and as a way to kind of like goose that a little bit and tease you a little bit, I'm going to actually show you like the first 30 seconds of it here. And if we hit that goal, then I'll be happy to share the rest of it with you. Please enjoy a very brief preview of what I hope to be showing you the whole thing of in just a moment. Danny's Diary. Here we go. Here's the opening of Danny's Diary.
I love fishing, as you see. I got my fishing pole all the time. Venice has a Muscle Beach in it, and I used to work out down there. They made actually a postcard. There was a postcard with me in it. You have to have a boombox on the beach.
It wouldn't be Muscle Beach without a boombox, that's for sure.
All right, that's all you get. You get 30 seconds. That's all I'm giving you. That's all I'm giving you for right now. We'll be getting to more of that. Again, $10,000 goal. We're already at 6,500. Thank you to who else do we have over here? We have AT Hefe, Jevi Hefe, Rihanna. Oh, Rihanna Manuel with the $100 donation. Rihanna, thank you so much. All of our guests are stepping up right now. Thank you so much. Is that just? Do you really want Danny's Diary, or I mean, what? Or you just?
Yeah, I knew before I even saw it that I had to have it.
It's working.
So contributing.
It's working. Now, Kahlief, Spawn on Me had a very big week this week. I mean, pretty much everyone has had a bit of a week this week. But you guys were obviously perfectly positioned to speak to what's happening out there across America and around the world right now. And you guys did a big podcast called A Lesson in Blackness, which was promoted on the Twitch front page. You had a massive audience for it. I'm dropping the link into the chat right now. The twitch.tv video, if anyone's interested in checking that out. It was like an epic, almost like a 3-hour stream where you and some other prominent black voices in the video gaming, in the podcasting space got together and had a really very frank discussion about what's going on in the world this week, and clearly in general over the past several decades and hundreds of years. Everything kind of coming to a head this week. Tell me about that particular episode and how it felt to do that and to be in front of such a, I mean, by far the biggest audience that Spawn on Me ever had. What would you just talk to me about that whole experience of doing that particular episode?
Yeah. So we had all been feeling lots of different ways. Myself, having seen the death of George Floyd, shown on the news and around my internet circles, had a show to do that week and didn't know necessarily how to tackle that subject. We've tackled, deaths by police brutality and conversations around white supremacy on the show a couple of times throughout the 6 years that we've been doing it. But this week was a little bit different in the space where I just really didn't know what to talk about, because it's kind of, you get kind of numb to seeing those images play out over and over again over your lifetime. But I kind of put out the bat signal, or I should say the black signal. And some amazing folks showed up. Pikachu Lita, Paris Lily over from Gamertag Radio, Cameron Hawkins from DualShockers, of course, Blessing Adeoye Jr. from Kind of Funny, and then Zombie Kills, who's an up and coming streamer in the space. And it was one of the most poignant and raw discussions that we've had on the show in a long time. And the thing that made it really fantastic was that folks came to it being their full selves. Like most of the folks who are in that circle anyway are themselves whenever they stream or whenever they're kind of out in the public space. But having a place to to have that catharsis on our show was even more beautiful, because we just had a chance to like speak our hearts in that kind of most truest way. And it kind of blew up over the next couple of days, where I feel like, and I'm not going to say this to feel like I'm blowing up what that show meant, but I feel like it moved the needle a little bit in the gaming industry. Like it felt like for the first time, conversations within our community were really kind of getting pushed out there in a way that felt not only good, but honest, and made people kind of take that look in the mirror to say, like, what's happening in my own communities that I could help to make some changes. And it was great, because then it got picked up by, GameSpot had us on the front page. Our wonderful family over at What's Good Games, they stopped some of their coverage for a day to share our work as well with Blackout Tuesday, and it blew up over the internet, and so many folks within the industry and outside the industry were passing it around, that it really made me happy and proud to be a part of doing that work. So
I know that Mary Kish at Twitch was a big help as well in getting you on the front page and getting you. As you know, I'm not a fan of Mary personally after the way she did me dirty when she came on the show. But it's great. It's great that she stepped up and just check your money trees, Kahlief, is all I'll say. If she comes to your island, just like have a good look around, make sure nothing's missing is all I would. That's the only advice I'd give to you. But other than that, she's
Mary.
great. Yeah, she's great.
I love Mary. Mary can steal whatever she needs from my island, whatever.
I'm glad because she will. I'm glad you have that attitude, because it's going to happen. She will do that to you.
But it was great to see so many people sharing it and restreaming it too, which was actually really good. Because again, the conversations that we had, and in that context specifically, was around kind of the way content creators were looking at that conversation and kind of building the case for why you should continue to look at the Black community and Black streamers and people of color streamers especially, to see like the good work that we've been doing in this place for a very long time. So then we did that, and then we just bridged that off to a show that we just did this previous Thursday when we were on the front page of Twitch, that wound up kind of taking the next step, which was all about how do we talk to folks who are on the ground. So we brought in three amazing activists to talk about the work that they do to make the space better too. So it was madness this week. That show did really well. The stream did like almost 13,000 viewers on the front page.
Oh yeah, that's a big number.
Yeah, for us especially. And I have to really quickly just thank everyone at Twitch for signal boosting that in a real way, for showing up with moderators from Twitch staff to help us moderate the madness that was that chat that day. Yeah, because
content like that inevitably brought out some trolls, right? But you handled that very well as well.
Yeah, I mean, you always find the wonderful compound cuss words and the ways that people can figure out new ways to call you names, which is always pretty fantastic. But it's also really interesting to see how many folks get it, right? Which I think is the most important part. There were lots of different folks who came in who were new to the stream and new to our show, that were really happy that the conversation was happening and that Twitch was promoting it. So, I have to give Twitch massive props, because, as a company, folks are always trying to figure out ways to not necessarily get themselves in trouble. And they totally took that one and they said, we're going to rock with this message because we believe in it and we want to kind of promote it and show it. And we were lucky enough to continue to work with them and showing how good our show is and how good those conversations can be. So you can have conversations with politics and games and people like it and pay attention to it. You
brought along a clip, which I'm going to cut to right now. This is just, the whole, again, we dropped the link into the chat. We can drop it in again while this clip is playing. It's almost like a 3-hour conversation, and everyone should really take the time out of their day to listen to it. But here's just a minute from the special edition of Spawn on Me that Kahlief put together this week.
Only
Here we go.
solace that I really have in times like this and living in a world filled with white supremacy is knowing in my heart that none of this is my fault and none of this is our fault. We've never been in power in this country. We've never owned the ability or had the ability to run government in the way that we should and probably could. The ideas around scary blackness have always been embedded within this country, and it's been a thing that is the biggest lie ever told. Racism is the biggest lie ever told. So the solace I find in knowing that I'm not losing my mind and that most of the things sadly are out of our control, but we are constantly blamed for all the ills that happen in this country, lets me go to bed at night okay.
Well said, Kahlief. I mean, who could possibly say it any better than that?
Thank you, fam. Appreciate that.
Now, we dropped a Twitch link into the channel earlier, but I think somebody mentioned there's also a YouTube version of that video. Is that right?
Yeah, the YouTube version
too.
Yeah, the YouTube version. There was some edits in there because I screwed up when I was streaming it because I'm a consummate professional when I stream. Can someone find that one of the mods or somebody drop the YouTube link into the chat, because I would like to give as many people as possible the opportunity to check that out. I think that would be. I can scope around for it too. I can see if I can find it for you while I'm rocking. But yeah, it was again, like, I think one of the things that I think about all the time when it comes to doing this kind of content is we've been trying to figure out ways to move the needle in real ways for a long time. And it's taken a long while for people to understand just how good the content is that our community and people in our communities have made for a while. And it's just a matter of doing the work to showcase it. Like, the thing that I love that came out of this show the most is that not only the folks who were on that show got a lot of love, but so many folks in the gaming industry, so many streamers, so many content creators, so many folks who are like artists, like everything started to get shared around in ways that I hadn't seen before prior to this week. It's a shame that was the case, that it took a tragic event like that to happen. But I've been telling everybody, capitalize now, because you need to do it. You have so many eyes on our community. You have so many folks who are poking in to make sure that people are doing stuff and that we're doing that work, that if you don't jump on this opportunity now, you need to be paying attention to that energy. And that's been the thing we've been trying to figure out and share from a small nummy perspective for the past 6 years. Is like, our community has worth, the content has worth, and the community is here, and we have great stuff here. So come by and check us out. So continue to do that work, and this is a part of that. I have to thank you a bunch, Gary, because seriously, besides having me here, you're one of the reasons why Kind of Funny and I even connected, because you rocked our shirt.
That's right. I wore a Spawn on me because that was a cool t-shirt. I didn't wear it because I was like trying to be a good, it's just a cool shirt. Like, I wanted a cool shirt.
Yeah, it's a shirt that has my face on it, and you rocked it on Kind of Funny. And Greg Miller, massive love to him, was like, whose face is this on your shirt? You do, and that was kind of like a huge part for us. So thank you.
Are you still selling that shirt?
Oh yeah, all our merch.
I just found it, and I'm dropping it into the chat right now. Let's see. I think this is the one. Is that it? It's on tpublic.com. Is that the right link?
Yeah, it should be on tpublic.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the Oh Damn t-shirt. I like it a lot. I love that t-shirt. Yeah. I got it in the red, but I think there's like different colors available.